President, I want to congratulate you. As you know, Shinzo Abe was a great friend of mine, and I was very saddened to see what happened. It was so shocking, but he spoke so well of you, even before we knew what was going to happen and your ascension. He spoke so well of you.
Okay, so in the middle of Trump's ultra-serious Asia tour, where he's literally announcing nuclear testing and meeting with Xi Jinping about global security, he has this absolutely hilarious moment where he gets completely turned around and doesn't know which way to go. And the internet? The internet went absolutely insane with memes comparing it to Biden's famous gaffes. We're talking Biden Moment 2.0, trending across every platform. So picture this. Trump is in Busan, South Korea. Cameras everywhere. High-stakes diplomatic visit. And he just walks the wrong direction, gets visibly confused, has to be redirected. It's the kind of moment that would normally get buried in a news cycle dominated by nuclear testing announcements and China summits. But this is the internet age, and nothing escapes the meme machine that if you're here for the perfect blend of serious political news and absolutely ridiculous viral moments, and let's be honest, that's peak 2025 politics, hit that subscribe button right now. Because we're about to break down the funniest moment of Trump's Asia tour and also talk about why these viral gaffes actually matter politically even when they're hilarious. Alright, let me set the scene for you. October 28th to 29th, 2025. Trump is on this massive Asia tour. He's in South Korea for high-level diplomatic meetings. He's about to meet Xi Jinping. He's just announced the US is restarting nuclear testing. The stakes could not be higher. This is serious, consequential foreign policy stuff. And then, wrong way, Mr. President. Trump gets turned around. The video shows him starting to walk in one direction, pausing, looking confused, someone clearly redirecting him, and then going the other way. It's not a major stumble or fall. It's just a moment of very visible confusion about which direction to go. Now, on its own, that's pretty minor. People get turned around all the time, especially in unfamiliar places with complex protocol about who walks where and when. But the internet doesn't care about context. The internet sees Trump looking lost and confused on camera, and the meme generators go into overdrive. Within hours, literally hours, social media is flooded with comparisons to Joe Biden's famous gaffes. You know, the ones Trump and his supporters used to mock relentlessly. Biden wandering off during events. Biden looking confused about where to go. Biden's handlers redirecting him. Trump's base made a huge deal out of those moments, using them as evidence that Biden was too old and confused to be president. And now Trump has his own wrong way moment, and the irony is absolutely delicious to his critics. The memes write themselves. Trump having a Biden moment. Suddenly age and confusion matter again. Wrong way on foreign policy, wrong way in Korea. Social media is brutal, and it's having a field day with this. The video has been widely shared across platforms since the incident. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, it's everywhere. And because Trump's brand has always been about strength, confidence, and never showing weakness, this moment of visible confusion is especially damaging to his image. So let's talk about the meme explosion because this is where internet culture and politics collide in the most entertaining way possible. Social media users created a flood of content riffing on Trump's directional confusion, and it's genuinely hilarious that you've got side-by-side comparisons of Trump's moment with Biden's various gaffes. The caption is usually something like, "Suddenly the MAGA crowd is very quiet about age and mental fitness." It's pointing out the hypocrisy. When Biden got confused, it was proof he was unfit for office. When Trump does it, his supporters will say it's meaningless. There are memes editing in GPS navigation voices saying, "Make a U-turn when possible." Others add video game, wrong way warnings like you'd see in a racing game. Some put in compass graphics showing Trump going in literally every direction except the right one. The creativity is genuinely impressive. Late night shows picked up on it too. Comedy segments about Trump's big Korea trip featuring nuclear testing, diplomatic crises, and also he got lost. The juxtaposition of the serious diplomatic stakes with this lighthearted gaffe is comedy gold. And here's what makes this especially biting. Trump has spent years mocking Biden's mental fitness. He's called Biden confused, senile, not mentally competent. He's made Biden's age and gaffes central to his political attacks. So when Trump has his own visible moment of confusion, all of that comes back around. The video sparked debates about Trump's public speaking and leadership presence. Some people are framing it humorously, just a funny moment that everyone can laugh at. Others are using it more critically, suggesting that if this happened to Biden, Trump supporters would be demanding cognitive tests, and that's a fair point. The standard for concerning behavior has been wildly inconsistent depending on who's doing it. When Biden stumbles or gets turned around, it's evidence of cognitive decline. When Trump does the same thing, it's just a momentary mistake. The double standard is pretty glaring, but here's the thing. Most reasonable people understand that occasionally getting turned around doesn't actually indicate cognitive decline. People get confused about directions. It happens. The problem is that Trump and his supporters set a standard with Biden where any gaffe or moment of confusion was treated as disqualifying. Now that standard is being applied back to Trump. The incident coincided with Trump's high-profile diplomatic engagements, which creates this weird tonal whiplash. One minute we're talking about nuclear testing and potential arms races. The next minute we're laughing at Trump going the wrong direction. That's modern politics. Deadly serious and absurdly funny at the same time. Social media shapes political narratives through these viral videos and meme culture in ways that are actually significant. Yeah, it's funny, but it's also politically damaging because it undercuts Trump's carefully crafted image of strength and competence. He's supposed to be the guy who always knows what he's doing, who's always in control. A viral video of him looking lost contradicts that brand. Before we get into what this actually means politically beyond the laughs, if you're enjoying this breakdown of Trump's viral moment, go ahead and hit that like button. And drop a comment. What's your favorite meme or reaction to Trump's wrong way moment? Because some of these are genuinely creative and hilarious. Alright, so beyond the memes and the laughs, let's talk about what this viral moment actually means politically. Because these seemingly minor incidents can have real impacts on public perception and political narratives. First, it humanizes Trump. For better or worse, moments like this make politicians seem more relatable. Everyone's gotten turned around or confused about directions. Seeing Trump have that moment makes him seem less like an untouchable strongman and more like a regular person who makes small mistakes. For some voters, that humanization is actually positive. But it also feeds into concerns about leadership and competence. Trump has built his entire brand on being decisive, confident, always in control. A moment of visible confusion, even about something trivial like which direction to walk, creates cognitive dissonance with that brand. If he can get turned around on stage, can he navigate complex foreign policy? Obviously, those aren't equivalent, but perception matters in politics. The timing is particularly rough because this happened during a trip where Trump is trying to project maximum strength. He's announcing nuclear testing. He's meeting with Xi Jinping. He's supposed to be dominating on the world stage. And then this viral moment undercuts that image. Compare this to public perceptions of Trump versus Biden on leadership. Biden has had multiple moments of confusion or gaffes that damaged his image. Trump and his supporters used those aggressively to argue Biden was unfit. Now Trump has his own viral gaffe, and his critics are using the same playbook. The difference is how their respective bases respond. Trump's supporters will minimize it. Biden's critics magnified every gaffe. The broader issue this highlights is age and mental fitness in presidential politics. Trump is 79 years old. Biden was heavily criticized for being too old at 82. Both men have had moments of confusion or gaffes, and voters are increasingly concerned about whether our oldest presidents are up to the job. This viral moment feeds into that broader concern. But here's where it gets interesting. Trump's brand has always been about confidence and showmanship over substance. A gaffe like this is more damaging to him than it would be to a traditional politician because his entire appeal is based on projecting strength and control. Any crack in that facade hurts more than substance-based criticisms. Social media amplifies these moments in ways that wouldn't have been possible in previous eras. In the past, a candidate getting briefly turned around wouldn't make news. Maybe a photo, maybe a brief mention. Now it's instant viral content that reaches millions of people and gets remixed into countless memes. That changes how these moments affect political discourse. The contrast between the serious backdrop, nuclear testing, Xi Jinping's summit, massive diplomatic stakes, And this silly gaffe is actually important. It shows that even during the most consequential foreign policy moments, one viral clip can dominate the conversation. Trump announced nuclear testing, but what's trending? Him walking the wrong direction. That tells you something about how modern media and politics work. Serious policy gets less engagement than funny gaffes. Complex international relations get overshadowed by memes. And politicians have to manage not just the substance of their actions, but every single moment on camera, because any slip becomes instant content. Look, the bottom line is this. Trump had a viral wrong way moment during his South Korea visit that sparked an explosion of memes comparing him to Biden's famous gaffes. It's objectively funny. Watching the most confidence-obsessed politician in America get visibly confused about which direction to go is inherently comedic. But it's also politically significant because it undercuts his brand. It humanizes him in ways that aren't always helpful, and it applies back to him the same standard his supporters used against Biden. If getting confused about directions is evidence of mental decline when Biden does it, Trump supporters have to explain why it's meaningless when Trump does it. The viral nature of this moment shows how social media shapes political narratives. A few seconds of video become instant meme material that reaches millions of people. And even during serious diplomatic trips involving nuclear weapons and China summits, one gaffe can dominate the conversation more than substantive policy. This is 2025 politics, where the serious and the absurd exist simultaneously, where nuclear testing announcements and wrong way memes compete for attention, where every moment is captured, shared, and turned into content, and where even the most carefully managed politicians can have one confused moment go viral and become part of their political narrative. So here's my final question for you. Do moments like this actually matter politically, or are they just entertainment that doesn't affect how people vote? And do you think the standards for gaffes and mental fitness should be applied equally to all politicians? Or is it fair for supporters to minimize their candidates' mistakes while maximizing opponents? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And hey, if you've got a favorite Trump wrong way meme, share it because some of these are comedy gold. And make sure you're subscribed because we're covering both the serious and the ridiculous in Trump's presidency, the nuclear testing and the directional confusion, the Xi Jinping summit and the viral gaffes. Because that's politics in 2025, you need both to understand what's really happening. Don't miss it.